Are you having the time of your life? Because this is the best time in a generation to build, to plan.
I'm a planner, and for a planner, this is heaven. We have a mayor who really cares about planning and design.
The Bloomberg administration, Speaker Quinn, the City Council, and the EDC have done every possible thing they could do to help a developer make a buck in New York City.
If you don't like wealthy people or successful profit-making businesses, you're not going to have a city. We want to attract those people here. That's where we get the money to help those who are less fortunate.
Downtown Brooklyn is about to get a makeover.
Important parts of downtown Brooklyn are ugly. This plan will help fix that.
Some people have had roots here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So what do we tell them? Oh, well, you don't matter because this new person who's been here for 6 months has enough money to say you should be gone?
A lot of people aren't aware that these neighborhoods that we moved into over the last decades, which have these beautiful brownstones, actually used to be really strong, diverse communities. What happened in the 30s after the Great Depression is that banks and real estate developers pretty much took control of public policy in the area, and that's what created this process known as redlining, where neighborhoods actually were labeled as being either good or bad for investment.
Because the perception at that point was that once you were a black neighborhood, the neighborhood was declining. At the same time, you had the very same banks and government agencies sponsoring mortgages in shiny new suburbs, but these mortgages were also only available mostly to white families.
And it really created this sort of black segregated ghetto in Brooklyn that had very few resources. So those people who were left stuck in the city went to the downtown, which was slowly being abandoned, and they actually turned around Fulton Mall into the third most successful shopping district in all of New York City. So the injustice of it now is that here are these people that held this neighborhood together through all the bad years, and now all of a sudden, now that there's an opportunity to make money here, the city basically just, says, okay, big real estate developers, you want us to upzone this area? Fine. And if it displaces 100 small businesses that have been catering to the community forever, who cares? And that's pretty much what's happened.
I spent 20 years to build up this business, and now I have to move. Then I might lose all the customers.
It's really about the city becoming a place where only the ultra-wealthy can live. And I think that that's something that people notice about New York, but they don't know how to get a handle on it. They don't like it, but they don't know what they can do about it. So that's what we want to do, is sort of give tools for understanding and then a way to get involved and be able to impact what's happening.
So we decided to create a game that would take people on a tour of downtown Brooklyn, where they could learn about the history and future of the city through their mobile phones. It's called Brooklyn, the Game.
It's really about celebrating what we really love about Brooklyn, which is a diverse local culture, and fighting its elimination by a corporate monoculture.
So can you tell this story through the scavenger hunts, showing photos, videos, and songs?
A lot of the challenge was just thinking about how do we update the scavenger hunt to the 21st century and get people to earn tokens for going from spot A to B to C. And you'll learn about the history of hip-hop, but it'll also throw in this building was so central to it and now it's gone. Why is it gone?
Yeah, how do we preserve Brooklyn and not just make it Brooklyn Industries?
Once you download the application into your phone, you could take one of 4 tours. One of them is Moments in Hip-Hop History. Another one is A Great Bargain. You might end up at A&B Books, which is no longer there anymore, but you would learn about the business that was there.
We specialize more in African American. That's the community we really serve. So if somebody wants to know about the Caribbean history, this is the place that they come. It's a place of learning.
You're playing a game, you're walking around Brooklyn, you're looking and learning about new stuff, and you're answering questions, and as you answer them, you might win a token. And as your tokens pile up, you can convert that into a coupon, which you could then use to go into a local business that's being threatened by displacement maybe. So they've gained a new customer. Maybe you have a conversation with them about what's going on in the neighborhood. You're building the local economy.
And we've lost the bookstore, it's not coming back. But understand what has happened and understand the specific opportunities going forward to think about what can this place become.
I like the idea of having people physically walking around the space and being able to look up at a building and get information about what's being built there. If people knew that their tax dollars were going to subsidize a completely private luxury condo that has no affordable housing, I think they'd be really upset. The Pratt Center for Community Development does a lot of work with communities where they're doing surveys to find out what people want, and they're also doing visioning sessions.
What we're usually doing is trying to corral everyone into a room at one place and one time to have a big town hall meeting, get your input. But this kind of engagement with users is a really important way to both educate and obtain information from users that actually is used in planning.
You can take your phone, hit a button, and input a comment about what you think about this kind of development or what else you'd like to see here.
The input can get out there in real time through social media, through the web, and so on.
Once you've gotten people involved in a discussion, and then you want to get them to get involved in the next level of action, which is, for example, a public hearing, what if we gave people tokens for attending a public hearing?
This area was built by people with very little money in their pockets at a time when people who had money didn't give a care about it. You turned your back on it, now that it's making money, you want to fill your pockets again. That's wrong.
It's about having that conversation and having it mean something.
I know I personally would want to see community-based planning become a pretty basic expectation.
Brooklyn is the hippest thing and everybody wants to be in on it, including all these big developers. And what's happening here is happening in all these other cities. It's the same story playing out. So if this could work here, I think it can work somewhere else.